According to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, there's about 10 million construction workers in the United States. Out of those 10 million construction workers that are in the United States, 3 million of them are Hispanic. That's about 30% of the workforce. And yet they account for 38.5% of the fatal falls. 23% of Hispanic workers, 23% had some kind of accident, compared to the average of 17%. It's crazy, isn't it? So what we see is that, statistically speaking, Hispanics are at a disproportionately higher percentage of accidents and mortality than any other group out there, and especially so among foreign-born Hispanics that lack English skills. So it's kind of interesting. There's a lot of reasons for this, but in this presentation, I obviously only have time to talk about one aspect of language. And so when you think about safety, most safety professionals, their whole goal, their whole purpose is to not just impart information, but to motivate people to take action. And so when you sit here, and most of you who speak one language, as you're sitting listening, you have an incredible ability to take all the information that's being said, and you could take that information and use your imagination. You can begin to relate it to the things that are happening in your life, your experiences in life, and all of that can serve as a spark that causes or motivates you to take some kind of action. So sometimes I get people who tell me, those foreign-born Hispanic workers that work for me, they know enough Spanish to get by. They can, they can take the class in English. They don't need to do it in Spanish. But let me tell you what happens to the brain when they're processing information. As they're sitting there listening to the information, they have to do something. They have to use an extraordinary amount of processing power to do the terrible task of translating every single word that is being said into their native language. And then if they get caught up with one word, now they're going to struggle to keep up with the information. So this idea of them being able to just be able to understand, it's going to be very difficult. Their processing power has all been dedicated just to that. So the idea of understanding, absorbing the information, and even comprehending the significance of what was being said, it can all be thrown out the window. Okay, and so the point that I'm making is that if you want to effectively motivate people and persuade them to be safe, if you want to save their lives and prevent them from being injured, they need to hear it in their mother tongue, in the language of their heart.